Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of Sunday, January 13th through Saturday, January 19th. There are no items on the Islamic or Hebrew calendar that we're going to discuss. There is one on the Christian calendar. It's the baptism of our Lord. That's the name of the feast day. Of course, I describe what that is about during the general reading for anybody that wants to hear that. There are two items on the celestial calendar. On January 13th, the first day for which this reading is at 1:58 p.m., Jupiter will be square Neptune. And then on January 19th, the last day for which this reading is at 6:57 p.m., Uranus will be semi-sextile Chiron. And that's it. Oh, I was going to tell you about the moon, what the moon or where the moon will be placed during this period. So on the 13th, it'll be in Aries, having entered Aries on the 12th at 8:18 a.m. January 14th at 6:31 p.m. it enters Taurus. January 17th at 1 a.m. it enters Gemini, and January 19th at 3:44 a.m. it enters Cancer. Going to the dice, I'm beginning with sex. It's 50-50 and spend money. Spirit says romantic dinner, email, and party. For the spread from the masculine perspective, I was weird tonight. In doing that, I kept going back and forth. Like, am I in the mood to read reversals? And I decided the answer was no, but I also was in the mood to use tarot cards for the first spread because I was feeling something about cups. And the masculine feeling like he doesn't have enough cups. So I said, let me look and see what this, if it, comes out, what this might mean. Reversals and all, should they show up, fine, I'll read them. But I am not in the mood to read reversals. I talked for a second at the beginning of the general. Over the past couple weeks, it is less and less people that are apparently getting to watch the videos. I guess it's not showing up in their feeds. Every week I go through a spiel about how, a number of my viewers don't get their notifications. And, I try to share the fact that I've posted a video on all my social media so people know, and sometimes they still don't know, and they're like, oh man, I missed it. For whatever reason, it seems to be getting worse. And I don't know how else to help, how else can I help people to know that the video's there and to look at it? And, I just said, like in the general, if it requires an hour again, I'll put the hour into it, but I'm going to try to make it not, or, because I got so many other things to do than, to do a video for an hour if no one's going to get to watch it. And I don't say no one to discount those of you who do watch it. I appreciate you. But you know what I mean? Like in the scale of things, like I've got so many clients and I've got children, I've got a family, I've got a life my own self as an individual. I've got parents, I've got friends. And so it's just like, so maybe that's what started the mood, is like, do I want to put all this, extra energy into it? We're going to do this though. We're going to do it proper. I did promise never to compromise my integrity, even if I do shorten the videos. So in any case, I'm beginning with Major Arcana card 3 and Fertility, which in this deck is Cleopatra and Caesar. I don't know why, well, yeah. Why she looks like she's wearing a muumuu, but I guess that was the way they drew the fact, they were trying to draw the fact that she was pregnant. It just doesn't look like an Egyptian gown or whatever. In any case, moving along. Opening to Strength. So let me just show you Strength in reverse. So let me just show you what it looks like upright. It's Brunhilde and Siegfried on the Strength card. These cards are from the Lover's Path Tarot. I don't remember who makes them. Let me see. Where did I put the box? I don't know right now. I'll try to remember to write the person's name in the description. And opening 2, Persephone and Pluto on transformation or death. Major Arcana card 13. Upright. Cleopatra. You know what? Speaking of death upright, in the general reading, there was an indication of needing to move on without giving the whole thing away or talking about it too long. Needing to give something up on both sides and sort of clinging, holding on tight to it. And that could be what death upright is about as well. Anyway, opening to Dionysius and Adriana in Triumph. Major Arcana card 21, which is the World, which also showed up in the general. All these cards so far are from the general too. Fertility. The Ace of Staves in reverse. Cleopatra. And the Three of Coins upright. Yeah, it really is like a repeat of that reading so far. Three of Coins still upright. I'll go ahead and cut on that note. The Five of Staves in reverse. Overall energy is the King of Coins in reverse. This is what the King of Coins looks like when he's upright in this deck. It is Zeus. But ours is in reverse. I'm going to try to lay the cards and then turn after I turn them all around, then talk about them. But I often try to do that, and I still end up talking about each card individually. Let's see if I can do it. But so far, overall energy, what this means, let me at least tell you about that. In love, those who are single, you may meet somebody who has a way with money or focus on money, and or is in like the financial sector, maybe somebody that works at the bank, or they're a broker, or a bookkeeper, an accountant, somebody from a financial sector. And also in reverse, there could be somebody having nothing to do with whether one is single or not, but I guess particularly if you're single, that you meet who is feeling down about their work. This could be somebody who's out of work maybe, or just somebody's just not feeling 100% like confident or whatever, and it's connected to their work. Maybe having to do with the government shutdown, because I was feeling that with the general reading. There was some stuff that came up that I was like, this might be connected to the general shutdown, whether one works for the federal government or not in the United States. There are, repercussions, consequences, and people, further people who are impacted outside of the federal government, and it's begun already. So it could be something like that, or who's concerned about the immediate future, and or you could meet somebody with a salary disparity. Like you make considerably more or considerably less, and that could be something that comes up. Yeah, for everybody else, if you're not single, I'd still say the same thing. Like you could meet, your partner may be like feeling down about work, or, their career in general, like where they are in life as it relates to their career. Divine Feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine, himself, the union as a whole. Maybe I put these too high. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union, what he himself is willing to, the universe would have the two do, but they will have to affirm and commit for in order to get that full support. which is represented by the number 8, and the outcome. Divine Feminine. Major Arcana card, Oppression, which is card number 16, the Tower in this deck. Dido and Aeneas. You know what? I'll also read the little stories for the Major Arcana cards that I turn over, so including Oppression. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. The Four of Cups in reverse. I started to explain the card already. Caught myself. Himself. Very nice. The Ace of Coins upright. So feminine, it could be you that's feeling down about your work or, you know, your career life. Perhaps the masculine about the union as a whole. The Six of Cups in reverse. Overall, the Seven of Cups upright. Choices, decisions. Dreaming, fantasizing. That could be, you know, positive too. Could be Neptune, that transit between Jupiter and Neptune, causing us to be dreamy and to have hopes and dreams for the future. What the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union. Queen of Staves upright. Okay, then we know what that means. That's our role right there. This is the Queen of Wands. And that is who represents the Divine Feminine in the tarot. What the masculine is willing to do. Okay, Prince of Cups upright. Tristan and his baby. What the universe would have the two do. And it is a Four of Coins upright. And the outcome. Innocence in reverse, which is the Fool in reverse. Okay. All right, so the Tower upright as it relates to love doesn't have to mean an end. Like I always talk about how the Tower is not necessarily a negative card, but nobody really wants, even, you know, even with that, nobody really wants to see it as it relates to love. But it doesn't mean necessarily the ending of a relationship. Although, given what I saw in the general and some of what I see now, some are ending or need to end, and we need to let go of them. If you are in a relationship that you do not want to end, feminine, it's time to address like issues that you've been sweeping under the rug, you know, to keep getting by. Now, I'm saying you need to address them. And you need to face them and think about what that means, like in the scope of things. I'm not saying you necessarily need to bring it up to your partner because of this card, especially if that is going to cause you to end and you don't want to. But you need to face them and figure out like, okay, so this is an issue. How can I, like before you go to your partner, why don't you come up, like devise a plan? How can we make this better? And so that way, when you do present it to them, this has been bothering me. This aspect of our relationship hasn't been working in my opinion, or you've expressed before that hasn't been working in your opinion, but I came up with this resolution, you know. And we can work on that. Ironically, the masculine, on the other hand, is finally ready. It looks like in cases where he has not been previously, he's finally ready to maybe really focus on the relationship with the Four of Cups in reverse, or focus on a relationship if he's single to, you know, start working on becoming unsingle and looking for, you know, a mate. So as it relates to the feminine, which is what this placement represents for me, Yeah, he's ready. So if that's what she's fearful about, if that's what she's worried about, then they can, easily resolve this situation. And maybe he's ready because he's finally feeling abundant. And we've seen over the past couple of weeks, masculine working on finances, working on money, trying to earn some money, trying to collect where he was due money. Some of it was inheritances, different things that were going on with them. But he's feeling super abundant here. This is the masculine as it relates to himself. So I like that seeing him. I like seeing that there for him. The Six of Cups in reverse. It's honestly similar to what I said about the Tower. If you're single and don't want to be, then it's time to start looking at like, what have I been doing or not doing to not be single? Maybe how could I put myself out there some more, meet some people, or at least online, maybe, like different things. Like, should I consider online dating? Should I go to, a club, a lounge? Maybe out to eat by myself, romantic dinner, go on a date by yourself. Maybe there's somebody else doing the same thing. This is coming up with ways, how can you put yourself out there? And I talked about in one of the general readings, maybe like a week or two ago, with one of the major transits I was discussing, I talked about how we should be open to meeting people maybe in otherwise unexpected places, like at school, at work, at, church, maybe if you go to church or something. I just threw that out there as an example. I haven't been to church in forever. So I don't even really know where that came from, but some of you may go, maybe that's where it came from. But like open to meeting people, different places, the laundromat, I don't know. For those who, are coupled, even if you're in separation, it's still like the Tower. There's stuff that you've been sweeping under the rug, right? So as to avoid argument, debate, whatever. And those things are going to come up. If you don't pull them out to address them, they are going to come up on their own to be addressed soon. And so be ready to face them, basically. That's for the union as a whole. Maybe having to do with some sort of decision that you guys have to make jointly or each individual. With the Seven of Cups as the overall energy. This is what the masculine would have us do. Again, this was the feminine's, role as a divine feminine, confident, passionate, fiery, driven, perhaps a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So with him being ready and wanting us to play our position, our true position, and seeing himself as the Ace of Coins, the masculine in a really good place this week. It's the feminine I'm a little bit, I don't want to say concerned about, but she seems to be harboring the more fear, at least this week. Because what the masculine is willing to do himself also looks good. It's Tristan and the Prince of Cups. The Knight of Cups, when you're asking a love question, is about, one of the best cards that you could get. It's about being ready. The same way we've seen the other cards say. It means positive messages and proposals like romantic dinner, commitments. If you are already, again, coupled, it means a deepening of the commitment. It may be something, more official, maybe even getting ready to get engaged or ready to get married, ready to have a baby. If you're single, he's still ready. And you could meet somebody, again, who like completely sweeps you off your feet. And that can be what the Tower is about also for you. what the universe would have the 2 do. 4 of Coins upright. This is actually the card that I was talking about in the general, where I said there was an indication to me that people were holding on to things of which they needed to let go. That's what the universe wants to help us with this week. Letting go of whatever's holding us back from these other things that we claim to want or not want. You know, holding us back from getting rid of them, or holding us back from maintaining them and keeping them in our lives if we want them. For some, for example, if you're single again, you're holding on to your single life. You have to think about, again, what can I do? How can I put myself out there? How can I switch my mindset to one that is open to receiving and then giving, also being able to exchange with another party. And, you know, if you're already coupled, for example, and maybe things had been rocky at some point, or, you know, your past relationship, whatever, you're holding on to negative emotions from wherever they came, but the masculine's ready to move on, then that's holding you back. So the universe wanting to help you, in that case, feminine, to let go of those negative emotions. Or, you know, it's for the masculine too, where he has a fear, maybe because, like I said, he's just now ready. He wasn't ready before. And he's like, well, I don't even know how to approach this now to tell her that I'm ready. You know, if there's a fear or something holding him back, universe wanting to help him to release that too. We're holding on too tightly to like our old life or our current life. And that's preventing us from moving on to our future, our dreams, our goals. Similarly, this card, if you want love, stop acting like a fool and open yourself up to it. This is the Fool. They call it innocence in this card, in this deck rather. And that's, you know, whether you're single or coupled, you want love, you got to open yourself up to that. Yeah, you got to be willing to take, you know, the risk that's involved with being the Fool and that leap. Also, though, if you are coupled, this can have to do with, I don't know, I want to say this, like your freedom and your desire to be committed clashing. And maybe you know, being worried about losing your freedom. Let's see. There's no air sign stuff here, because I know we can have that issue, particularly Aquarius and Gemini, that we need that freedom. But there's no air energy here, so it's not that. But you could just be like, I guess, worried about losing your own identity. And so that could be one of the things that's holding you back too, that you would need to ask the universe for help with in releasing. Oh, I said I would read the major arcanas. So Fool, which was the outcome. And the Tower, which was the card that represented the divine feminine. Those were the only two. Here's the little booklet. The Fool is first, of course. It is a major arcana card 0. Lovers that are pictured here are Tamino and Pamina. Keywords associated with this card: new ventures, innocence, trust, and optimism. The Magic Flute was the last opera Mozart composed before his death in 1791. Which equals 99, by the way. Some of its fairy tale plot was inspired by the rites of the Freemasons, a secret society into which Mozart had been initiated. The Magic Flute tells of a princess named Pamina and a prince named Tamino, who learned to trust their hearts, innocent and inexperienced as they may be. Meanings of the card, when it is in reverse: ignoring your better instincts, cynicism and pessimism. So that's what I was talking about too, being pessimistic and like worried that being in a commitment is going to ruin your life, you know. Also, it says that it's about distrust of the self or of others. So that can still be the same thing tied into that. You're worried about what the commitment's going to do or how you're going to react to it, or how you're going to be treated by the other person. So those are things to think about and to work on releasing if you're holding on to them, and the universe wants to help you with that if you fully affirm to it yourself. Oppression is the Tower. And pictured here are Dido and Aeneas. Keywords associated with this card: depression, difficulties, and release. Queen Dido of Carthage was walking upon the beach when she found Aeneas and his soldiers. She was charmed by the handsome stranger and soon fell in love. Aeneas loved Dido in return, but he was a man with a cause larger than the love that he could bear for any woman. He claimed it was the God's will that he journeyed to find a new Troy in Italy. Distraught, Dido built a funeral pyre at the top of a tall tower and set fire to it. As Aeneas' ship cast off into the sea, Dido climbed the tower and lay down upon the funeral pyre. Meanings of this card, when it's upright as it was for us: feeling overwhelmed or oppressed by the circumstances surrounding you or your emotions. Confusion and an inability to change our lives for the better. A pause before moving into a new phase of life. So that also goes along with what we talked about. Basically, this woman, her divine masculine left. They went into separation, and he didn't come back in time, so she committed suicide. So none of us are going to do that. Please promise me. But yeah, for the masculine, that's what it means for you to have been gone so long. So I'm glad to see next to this card was you being ready with the Four of Cups in reverse. From the perspective of the universe, I'm again beginning with earth energy, and it is work. So I started before with fertility, which represents the planet Venus, ruler of Taurus, Libra, and Gemini, and is very earthy and about abundance. This card for me connected more so as it relates to earth to the sign of Capricorn, but it could be, you know, Virgo, Taurus too. And it is about work. It can, you know, sometimes it's literal, or it can be about like an eight of earth, eight of pentacles kind of energy. Like where you put your energy is where you're going to get the outcome that you're looking for. And opening to communication. So maybe that's what that's about. Putting effort into effective communication or deeper communication with a soulmate. Putting effort into your relationship. Work. And brunette female, which is the karmic feminine energy for me in this deck. Often a Cancer, which is the opposite axis to Capricorn. We're not a Cancer, often a Leo or Leo Cancer Cuspian, although it doesn't have to be any of those. It doesn't even have to be an actual person. It could just be like an energy, a karmic feminine energy around you. And long distance, which is like a Three of Wands kind of card for me. Indicating the need to be patient, that there may actually be some distance, but you are also in the process of manifesting your desires. For some, it can be more literal, and you guys are just far away, whether that's physically or emotionally. And coming back to soulmate. Overall energy this week is true love, divine being or couple, recent past, near future, Masculine's higher self. Blocks to your progress, to the union. What the feminine can do, like to help herself along, despite whatever else is going on. What the masculine can do. The universe would have the to do, but again, they have to affirm it, or, you know, commit to it themselves, and the outcome. Divine being or couple is long distance. So again, what I was getting from this card is that we were in the process of manifesting, but it may require a little bit more patience. That it was a 3 of fire energy, which in the traditional tarot, the 3 of fire is depicted with a gentleman standing at a dock, you know, not unlike this, literally waiting for his ship to come in. You know, he can see it on the horizon, same like this, and know that it's on its way. And so this requires a little bit more patience. For others, this could be about separation and maybe some rocky times at the moment. But, you know, I see something better on the horizon. Recent past. True gem. Recognizing one's worth, one's value, one's partner or potential partner's worth, value, the value of your union as a whole, potential for longevity. Could be actual air sign activity, because there's been quite a bit of that in the recent past. Last week, Venus entered Sagittarius, which is all about, you know, love and sort of reckless abandon and chasing one's passions and dreams. And maybe if they worry about the consequences, they'll do that sometime in the future. Maybe they never will. It's just sort of like, you know, fuck it. It's a fucking energy. Also, Mercury, the week before, entered Capricorn. Uranus, that same week, or was it last week actually, the same week as Venus's transit. Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, went direct after being in retrograde a long time in Taurus, which is also ruled by Venus. So all of these things could be what this is about. Also, there could be some rings could have been purchased, some desire for engagement, some proposals could have already been made, or commitments having deepened in the recent past too. Near future, work, maybe to pay off the ring, or continuing to work on your relationships too. And this can be, again, reflective of Mercury in Capricorn, which is still the case. Masculine's higher self. Ooh, this karmic feminine energy. So he could be focused on this because he's letting it go. If the general and I guess also the spread I just did have anything to say about it. Or he could be like finishing up some situations. Also, in some cases, this could be about money. It doesn't have to be, again, doesn't have to be an actual person or, you know, relationship or anything. It could be about his relationship with money right now, and just that he's focused on green, you know, with these green eyes here, and green eyes in the card that's down here too. Let me see that. Focused on the green, like the Ace of Pentacles would suggest. So blocks here. Free will. When presented with an opportunity, it's about each one deciding whether they're going to sit it out or dance. And by the way, as it relates to the zodiac, this card tends to represent for me Gemini, Capricorn or Scorpio. Because for me, those are the three signs of people who would be sitting it out like at an actual party. You know, they're there because they're, you know, among the cool kids. So the people wanted to invite them, but they're, you know, they're not really interested or engaged. What the feminine can do, like help herself along, is gifts. You can work on yourself. You're going through, you went through recently, it would seem, some ascension. And maybe came into new gifts or strengthening of your gifts, or for the first time, you know, you've begun to, realize rather that you have the capacity to receive messages through your intuition, or, get messages in dreams maybe, and remember them when you wake up, very lucid, whatever your gift is. It's like working on yourself. And it sits here next to the work, especially if you're in separation or something. It's like, don't just, stand around like this waiting. It's a good time for you to focus on you, especially in light of the recent transits like Mercury in Capricorn, like Uranus in Taurus. What the masculine can do, what he can do is, put his focus where he asked us to put ours, in the previous spread, which is on the divine feminine. Blonde female for me in this deck represents the divine feminine. It's actually a redhead. As far as I'm concerned, this is not a blonde. And so it's that fiery energy of the Queen of Wands, although this one is much younger, much more youthful, at least to me, but she's my representation in this deck. So rather than being focused on this or being consumed with this or worried about this, this is what you can do to help yourself. Turn your attention to the positive. What the universe will recommend to the two that they can do. Ooh, dating queen. And so this is a real 3 of fire, 3 of wands kind of card too, or 3 of fire kind of energy feeling. And not necessarily about being patient, but about being confident and, again, passionate and maybe creative in pursuing what it is you want. And then ruling out, options as you will. All threes also, of course, have the potential all the time to be connected to some sort of party of 3, perhaps a love triangle. And here would be one right here. He's a divine feminine, karmic female, and the masculine. So maybe there's a choice that has to be made too. And that can be, for each on both sides, people having to decide, do I still want to be part of this love triangle? Nah, I'm good. And maybe you're leaving. Or, yeah, it's working out for me. He or she is leaving that other person now, or, the other person's exiting the situation. So we're going to, keep it moving, whatever. And the outcome. Ooh. Control, manipulation, fear still, ego still. Yikes. Maybe I should pull out my tarot cards. I hadn't planned to. Overall energy was true love. That's the outcome at the end of the week. But I still think that with the overall energy of true love, I still think that those cords are going to be cut by those with the confidence of that, like 3 of fire, to choose other than the karmic energy. I think those who make that conscious choice and move, and who choose to engage, to dance rather than to sit it out, that true love is going to conquer, as true love or love always conquers all, right? That's what's going to happen. So more of this earth and air, again, maybe Uranus and Taurus, or Mercury and Capricorn, or any air and or earth coming together could be what this is about. More importantly, it's about spending time with the universe and connecting, and maybe doing some meditation, prayer, intentions. Outside in nature, if you're able to, if you live in an area that's conducive to that. It was 26 degrees in New York today, so like I couldn't do that, not today at least. But if you live somewhere where you can, then you should this week. And opening to balance. Maybe this is what you're working on, trying to find your zen, your peace, your chi, your balance, either as an individual or as part of a relationship. Maybe you are trying to work on your throat chakra with all this air here. You have something to say, you have something on your mind, you're, seeing things with your third eye, but you don't know how to address them on this plane. And so maybe you need to connect with the universe for that. Retreat. And here comes the fire with eternal flame. It's eternal flame. So here we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, perhaps Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. And now here comes Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Retreat and forgiveness. Of course, balance was also air and water, but that balance card for me feels very much like temperance in the traditional tarot, which can be about the need for balance too, or to come together and compromise, or like it's 50-50, like the die suggested. And temperance in the tarot represents Sagittarius, so that would be more fire. But for me, also, temperance tends to represent Aquarius, because there's almost like always a water bearer on the card. Like I've seen many tarot decks, like different decks, and there's almost always a water bearer on major arcana card, temperance, whatever the deck is. Anyway, forgiveness, the need for this, it could be yourself. Maybe we're holding on to, guilt feelings or something, so we need to forgive ourselves. It could be towards somebody else. It could be your need to seek forgiveness from somebody else rather than to extend it. And heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. This is like that Four of Coins that showed up not only in the first spread here, but in the general, keeping us from what we really want, our real desires. Like we're holding on to the old energy too tightly. And so it's the new energy is unable to come in. That's what heaven on earth is about. It's like if you want heaven on earth, if you want to achieve that, you can. It's you that has to do it. You have to look around at your life, your past, your present, your future, and decide like what's important to you and what no longer resonates and is, has had its time and it's time to be released. And then you have to consciously let that stuff go that needs to be released so that you make room, you vacate the space for what is meant for you in this time to come in. Of course, this is air and fire coming together in this case. Again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could be Venus in Sagittarius. We also have, other fire signs, Leo, Aries, to which this could be connected, and Mars, ruler of Aries, currently located there. That could be another reason for this to show up. And what's driving maybe the masculine to pursue that his ruler as a male, for those who are, or is in fire sign Aries, which it rules, like its most aggressive placement. I say male specifically because I'm, going to men are from Mars, women are from Venus, sort of thing. In any case, also now coming to answered prayer, air and water again, most specifically Aquarius and Scorpio, but it could be anybody in any sign. And this is about us making intentions and again, our dreams, our goals, and actual prayer. And, once you make that manifestation, it coming in, law of attraction working in your favor. Opposite heaven on earth, our prayer could be like the first spread where the universe said, asked us to affirm to letting those things go and saying if we do, it'll help us. That opposite, heaven on earth, your prayer could have been, universe, please help me to release these things that are preventing the new and the heaven to come into my life because I'm holding on to hell. It's the same thing. On that note, I will cut. And meditation. Overall energy remains meditation. And notice the woman on this card is nude. So she's in full surrender. She's not just asking the universe for help, but she's prepared to accept it, to fully receive it, and allow for it to work in her life. Crowning the masculine. It is dreams. So this very Neptunian, Piscean energy coming through. I just talked about dreams, your goals, your wishes, your intentions. This is making them, happen. This can also be reflective of the masculine actually having very lucid dreams, right? Surrounding the masculine, reflection. So how can I achieve these dreams, these goals? I got to look around at my present, look back at my past, and look toward my future. And what do I want in it? How do I plan to get there? What do I need to take with me? What do I need to leave behind in order to make it? My bags can't be too heavy. So these two very connected, these two cards. Masculine subconscious sorrow, the need for forgiveness, the need to seek it, to give it. And all that time that he wasted, this is what he feels bad about. Like I said, he was finally ready in the last spread. That's what he feels like crap about. But he needs to release that too. That's holding him back as well. Because that manifests into fear, and then just causes further delay. Because if you become afraid of, what you did in the past, and it prevents you from, making amends and looking towards your future, you didn't even learn the lesson, if that's the case. Crowning the feminine, expectancy. This is about our need to stop trying to dictate to the universe how, when, where, who, is for us. It's all about divine timing. When we do this, when we try to impose ourselves upon the universe, we block our blessings and we prevent it from giving us what it intended for. Let's say, for example, you're looking for a new man. I'm looking for a new man. You say, universe, I want this man to be purple and 6 foot tall and 170 pounds and a redhead and have a really good job and no children. You prevent the universe from sending you what you couldn't even conceive. I mean, I can't even describe it because I can't conceive either. But like the universe is limitless. So it can, anything we can think of, it can do us infinitely, literally infinitely better. So the idea is for us to release our idea, just put into the universe, dear, universe, God, I really would like just a good partner, someone who would treat me with love, that I can treat with love. We will exchange only positive energy, and anytime we feel any negativity coming in, we will transmute that back to love. We only want to feel love surrounding us, and that's all I want. Something like that, whatever. And you do that, and then you let it go. It's in the universe, or it's to God. You asked him already. You let it go. and then wait for what shows up. Not wait, you know, go about your life and wait in that sense for what shows up. Sort of like what showed up, what the last spread said, the first spread. Like for the feminine not to be there, like holding her breath to the last spread, to instead like focus on herself in the meantime and let what's meant to come in for her come in. Same sort of thing. Surrounding the feminine here. Emergence. So maybe having gone through some sort of dark phase or period, feeling down. And this is like rising from the ashes, like the phoenix, right? She's emerging. So, and she's surrounded by light now, white light, yellow light. There's some purple here. So very spiritual, high energy, high vibe. But where there's light, there's dark. So that means from where she emerged must have been dark. And this is her making her comeback. This is a sign of strength too, surrounding the feminine this week. Feminine subconscious. It is trilogy of light. So more of this very spiritual connection for her. It maybe is part of her working on herself. Crowning. It is the forgiveness that's needed between us and again to ourselves, to each other. At the root, the foundation, how do we get here? The goddess of the moon. It might be the moon that made with that Capricorn new moon, that last shift, something went on. There was a solar eclipse with that. There was very high energy associated with that Capricorn moon. So that was that's what laid the foundation. That's what initiated a lot of this stuff. The moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. And Earth's actual moon rules the sign of Cancer. At the heart of the matter, embrace, which is, it looks like a couple in a very, tight and beautiful hug, loving hug. And I'm sure it can take on that meaning for us here at the heart of the matter. But aside from that, what the card was intended to mean, it's like a temperance card. Again, it's one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a harmonious way, having been healed. That's what our heart of the matter is this week. Again, Major Arcana card Temperance represents the sign of Sagittarius. So this is a week of commitments. Well, forgiveness first. Commitments, deepening of emotions and love, stepping deeper into love, whether you're single or couple. With the result being, again, true love. And I think in happiness like this, if you do your part. This is like that work card that kept showing up. This is a week about you doing the work and then getting the outcome, period. Ironically, we're beginning yet again with be willing to forgive with the angel therapy cards. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. And opening to sacral chakra. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. That goes back to like letting go of stuff that we should no longer be holding on to, or people we should no longer be holding on to. To make room for this, boom, twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. And our overall energy is twin flame. I won't even cut. Because I feel like this is for everybody. And from the tarot deck, just in case I have to read another major arcana card, I'm going to put these last for each archetype. All right, from the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine, it is another 3. It is family. So this is, we've seen throughout the reading that this is what he wants, right? He's ready for some sort of coming together. And however you guys form a family dynamic, that's going to be fine for him. If it's just the 2 of you, that's going to be fine. You know, if there are children involved, that's going to be fine. This card as a 3 also about creativity and abundance and, you know, pursuing your passions and spirituality. God is associated with 3 as well. So very nice card. For the feminine from the hashtag creepy deck. Boom! Union. I paused because I just thought about, and it's something I truly believe, and I've believed for a long time, but I haven't said it in a while. God, family, football. And I was like, oh yeah, it's football season, nearing an end. But this is what the masculine is feeling right now. God, family, football. So I got distracted from us for a minute. But yes, union, twin flame, true love. So it's really just, yeah. And it's embraced the heart of the matter. It really is just about doing the work this week and then getting the desired outcome. It is about making the law of attraction work for you, as it will, without a doubt, if you don't do this. You know, if you set your intentions in the proper way and then are open to receive them, then they'll come. From the Universal Love Oracle to the masculine is celebration. So very 3 of Cups kind of card. This can be about you being social. Again, if you're single, getting yourself out there in a healthy way to meet people. If you are coupled, even if you're in separation, this can be about reunions. This can be about deepening your love, your commitment, your communication, making it more effective, handling issues that had previously been swept under the rug. All of these things are causes for sin. And I think that you guys are meant to celebrate yourselves a little bit too. Like, this is about confidence from one aspect. You got a decision to make. You've got to decide what it is you're letting go, if anything, or whether or not you need to hold on to things. What's going to make your dream come true? That's part of the celebration. Also, this is about ascension. This is this very Pentecostal dove. This is very spiritual. It's about your enlightenment. It's about your growth. And so you yourself are cause for celebration. If you're able to get to this point where you can seek forgiveness, where you can forgive yourself, where you can forgive somebody else, you know, where you can explain to them maybe why it is forgiveness is necessary. If that hadn't been made clear. There may be something particularly between you, a water sign, and maybe most specifically Pisces. Again, this is Neptunian energy for me. A water sign and an air sign with the reflection, which is about thinking, crown chakra, and Mary, who of course is an air sign. Yeah, maybe there's something going on with an air sign, and you know, it's on his mind. It's on his mind. This doesn't necessarily have to be him feeling sad. This can be his thoughts of the other person, with it here in this position. And part of the decision is, like, am I strong enough to face it? Because this person, male, female, you know, woman, man, whatever, masculine, feminine rather, you know, is the person of my dreams. Am I strong enough to chase them, to go after them, to, you know, free myself from what's holding me back, to fly off and get what I want? For the feminine from the Universal Love Oracle, oh, how perfect is this? Listening, as opposed to dictating to the universe. I keep telling my clients, the universe does not need our help in determining, you know, timing or what to do. how, you know, how to bless us. It's got that part. So yeah, we just listen. Now this card is also about prayers being answered, you know, wishes being granted. We see the star here. That's what the star represents in the tarot. Prayers answered, wishes granted, dreams coming true. And also communication. Also communication, either between us, like on a 3D level, or, you know, whomever it is with whom you need to communicate, or you communicating with the universe. In either case, feminine, this is another female nude body. So again, for me, that's about the most vulnerable that one can be and get. Eyes closed, naked. It means going to surrender. It means truly listen, hear, receive, and then, you know, put into effect, right? Into practice what it is the universe, you know, gives you, the instruction, the guidance, the support, so that you can actually manifest that which it is you are trying to. So that's our goal. Like this. This, I think, is what, you know, most are trying to manifest. It's kind of like the point. This, right? They go together. Oh, okay. When I picked this up, look what's underneath it. Vegetarian, vegan. I went on a whole rant during the general reading about that subject. So I guess we're meant to talk about it a little bit again. From the angel therapy cards to the masculine is ascended masters. Powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over you and guiding you. And this is more energy of 3. We've had a couple of cards that were like of 3. The ascended masters are represented by multiple 3s. 3s also, again, represent like creativity and the creator. So it's a very spiritual number. Part of your guidance masculine is going to come in the form of not only the ascended masters, but the number 3. Like when you see it this week, the multiple 3s, know that that is them reinforcing this message. Like, yeah, we really are here. And, you know, whatever you need, please draw upon it from us. Feminine from the angel therapy cards. Crown chakra. Yep. Air sign. Air sign. So crown chakra, and that balance card, it was a white card. It's a white and blue card. And I showed you where the male who was on the white side, the feminine was on the blue side. He had these little spheres, kind of shaped like this moon here, over his throat chakra, his third eye chakra, and his crown chakra. And I said maybe he had to communicate something, because the crown chakra, or those 3 chakras, they're all the communication centers. They are attached to air signs, the air element. So it goes along with listening, ideas. So like listening to yourself, listening to those thoughts in your head, listening for positive words only to be thought and spoken over yourself. That's super important for your manifestation. This can be about receiving telepathic messages here on this plane with other people, maybe the masculine. And also, of course, the guidance from the universe again, so that, you know, you don't have to worry about doing this. They will be helping you along instead. And lastly, I want to be careful with this one, just in case it's meant to be in reverse or, you know, upright. I want it to be how it was meant to be. It is the 9 of staves upright. 9 of wands. Okay, so the easy part, the 9 of wands is about perseverance. Keep going. Like where, you know, you might have felt down and out and I don't know if I can make it any further. The universe is saying, yep, you can. You get up, keep running. But also, as it relates to love, when the 9 of wands shows up, it's saying, like, you can keep dissecting this relationship, if you have, if you're in an existing relationship, again, whether you're separated or, currently physically together, you can keep dissecting the relationship or dissecting yourself as a relationship or dissecting your partner and nitpicking, about what doesn't feel perfect or right, or, how you're not measuring up or whatever, and like downing yourself and stuff. You can do that, but so many times before there's like almost like nothing left, So when this card shows up in relation to love, it's saying like basically like, stop that. Stop that. Do you want love with this person or not? Or with who with whom you're with or not? And if the answer is yes, and they want the same with you, then go for it, regardless of, thoughts and stuff that you're like beating yourself up with and eating yourself up with. And if you don't, then free yourself. That's it. That's it. But where are you feeling down and out? Again, as a general energy, the Nine of Wands is about, the need to keep going, to persevere. And for the feminine from the Lover's Path Tarot, it is the Sun in reverse. Interesting. Now, for me, the Sun is like the sun, no matter what. So, but it's going to have two meanings too, like kind of like what I do with the Nine of Staves. The Sun is an awesome card, and it's an awesome energy, and it makes everything brighter and illuminates things. So, it brings information to us because it shines light on stuff that maybe we hadn't noticed before, calls our attention to them. Here it's on this card, and from this deck in particular, it's with, featuring Cupid, who, is Venus's son and just like the angel of love. So who doesn't want that as it relates to love? But the Sun with love can also be like, it's Sagittarian energy, and it's mutable sign energy. And so freedom is super important. And with the Sun upright, first of all, let me get the easy part out. If you're single and you're looking for love, it's on the horizon. You should maintain a sunny disposition about it, though. Again, like, think about what you're doing or not doing in order to get yourself out there and to, to feel good about yourself, to feel confident, and therefore exude that to others. Like, you want to be shining like the sun too, like out forth toward others. What are you exuding? If you're coupled and the Sun comes up, actually in reverse too, maybe even more so, with the Sun in reverse, if you're coupled, it's possible that you both want some sort of like alone time. Like, it's important to not, for like one or both, neither, to be like too clingy or whiny or like annoying. I don't know how to describe it. But Sagittarius is the mirror sign to Gemini. So, and we're both mutable, so we kind of get each other for that reason. My oldest daughter is a Sagittarius, and, while we're different, I guess like the mirror, we have a lot of the same traits, or maybe while we may do things for different reasons, we were doing the same thing. So she may not want to be home or by herself, alone, working on stuff for the same reasons that I choose to be, but we both choose to be, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's like, it's going to be an important time to not be overly paranoid or like with one another. And if you are having some sort of trust issue yourself or whatever, or you're not sure that you want to be in this relationship, then, take a little break maybe, whatever that means for you, minutes, hours, days, but be open about that too. Don't have somebody in the dark about that, illuminate the situation. I need a little time. Okay, we need to be able to say, I need a little bit of time. I know you guys are probably like, what is she talking about? What does that have to, any of that have to do with the sun? The sun is a great card. Yes, it is a great card. So like I said, if you're single, love is on the horizon. If you're in a couple, and the sun is coming, it's good, it's positive. But based on some of the other energies that we've seen throughout the reading, if there is any of these, issues, it's going to be important to give each other our space, in dealing with them. And then we'll be happier. If you don't want to push the relationship away, basically the same thing I told the masculine about the Nine of Staves. You can chop up the relationship into little tiny pieces, but so many times before it's just okay, there's nothing left here. It's been shredded. And with this, you can be a hoverer and burn it up, right? If the sun, imagine if the sun was just hovering right over us, we would, turn to dust. There'd be nothing left again. So you can do that, but so long too. And then before you ruin it, we don't want to do that because we want this. And this is right here for us. Okay. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the love reading. It's pretty awesome. I forgot to mention after the general, I still have through the end of the month, the $27 mini readings and 2019 forecast. It's so funny. I keep telling people about that deal, when they do contact me about my readings, and they're like, thanks for telling me about the sale. I'll take the hour long. I'm surprised. I mean, I welcome it. I appreciate it. Yeah. Take the hour long reading, thank you. But I was just surprised. It's happened a few times where they're like, no. Thank you for telling me about that. But I want the long one, which is cool. But I do still have those mini ones. Maybe that's why I forgot to start to talk about them. $27. I can do any, reading that you want, shortened, mini, or the 2019 forecast. And if you need any of my other services, you know how to reach me. Social media, Queenofswordsthelightworker at gmail.com or Queenofswordsthelightworker.com. It's going across your screen throughout the reading. It's also in the, listed in the details underneath the video. And I thank you so much for coming out and watching, or from wherever you are, your phone, your laptop, your desktop. I appreciate it, your TV. Please do come again. Thank you to the YouTube people that are watching me. Thank you to the Facebook people that are watching me. Thank you to the Patreon people that are watching me. I appreciate you all. If you're not yet a subscriber, do hit the subscribe button and the bell button. If you already are and you don't get the notifications, then please check your settings. And if it still doesn't work, then you might need to contact YouTube, because I'm running out of ideas on how to resolve that issue. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll be back soon. Namaste.
We got one life, so we not gonna waste it. Living large like the rich and the famous.